Welcome to my movie review of Carrie, made in the year of 1976. If I get another fucking interruption, sorry, someone rang me and I was trying to review the fucking movie. Anyway, made in the year 1976, directed by Brian De Palma, starring Sissy fucking Spacek, and based off the fucking Stephen King fucking novel. It also has John Travolta and that fucking bitch that's in RoboCop. She's not a bitch, but she's a bitch. Not a bitch. What's her fucking name? Anyway, she was also in another Brian De Palma movie called Blowout and Dressed to Kill. Anyway, so basically, what the plot of Carrie is, you got this girl by the name of Carrie White. Carrie White, who basically is an introvert, lives in America, in the suburbs, in a suburban little neighborhood, and she lives with her fucking religious freak of a mother who's always trying to force religion on her, thinks fucking everything is a sin, locks her in closets, and is pretty much very abusive and basically nasty to her. Doesn't want her to do anything that's considered a sin. So she's overly religious, overly protective. And Carrie is in school, and while she's in school, she gets bullied. She's consistently being bullied by everyone. Everyone calls her a freak. There's even a kid that cycles past going, creepy Carrie, creepy Carrie. And the main bully is the girl from RoboCop, and she's basically a fucking cunt, right? Bullying her. And you also have PJ Souls from Halloween bullying her as well, and all these other fuckers. So essentially, after PE, she goes and takes a shower, and you get so many naked girls. Oh my god. Like, I swear, I was like 14 when I first watched this, and I rewatched it last year, and I rewatched it today, and I literally was like, my mind's telling me no, but my body... Oh wait, that's an R. Kelly song. My body is telling me... Okay, anyway, so they're all naked and all. You get to see boobs and bush. So many tits. And you're a woman for RoboCop's titties, and you're like, oh. And beautifully directed. But you see Sissy Spacek having a shower, and she ends up having her first period. And essentially, she's never had her period before, and she's never even heard what a period is. She has it really late. She's 16. She starts freaking out. All the people start throwing tampons at her and making fun of her and going, hey, why don't you plug up? Why don't you plug up? Why don't you fuck off? How about that, you fucking stupid cunt? Sorry, I hate bullies in movies. Bullies that are like this, fuck them all, right? Essentially, I think I ripped my goddamn jaws. Anyway, so essentially, the teacher comes in, calms her down, brings her into the teacher's lounge, talks with the principal, and all that stuff, and gives a fuck to all of the girls, and says that, gives them all detention and says that she wanted to refuse all of their prom tickets. However, if they stay behind detention and do work out every single day, they will be allowed to go to prom, bring their dates to prom. Carrie isn't planning to go to the prom because no one wants to ask her out. Her mother is overprotective and wouldn't let her do anything anyway. So yeah, Carrie's just being bullied. But on top of that, not only is she being bullied, socially awkward, introverted, she also is dealing with telekinetic powers. So when she gets stressed or anything, or angry or worked up, different things happen. For example, when they're in the shower, the fucking light breaks. When she's looking in the mirror fucking breaks, and other stuff happens, like the cigarette thing breaks. So she's dealing with a lot of that, and also dealing with her religious freak of a mother, and the religious freak of a mother is almost a little bit like a bit of a Jehovah's Witness as well. Even though she's not a Jehovah's Witness, she's going around preaching the Bible to people and all that stuff. Meanwhile, one of the girls at the beginning of the movie actually does feel a bit sorry for Carrie, and she is punished, but like she kind of learns her lesson and shit, and wants to do something nice for Carrie. Wants Carrie to have a social life, interact with other people, and basically talks to the guy that Carrie has a crush on, who writes this amazing poem, and essentially gets him to ask her to prom. She turns him down at first. At first, the teacher thinks there's something very fishy about that. There's something quite not right about it. Anyway, something not right about it. But he asks her, forces her, goes to her house, forces her to go, and so she decides to go. But the mother's not happy about it. But they go against it anyway. And she ends up going. The mother tries to force her to not go, but of course she ends up going in the end. Meanwhile, you also have the girl from RoboCop who's going out with John Travolta, who's in this movie as well. And he's like, oh my God! And he drinks and drives, and they make out, have sex, and all that. But she wants him to do a favour and wants to embarrass Carrie at the prom. And essentially they go and they kill a bunch of pigs, put a bunch of pigs' blood into this bucket, and essentially they agree to go to this guy that's not even in school, agrees to like, oh look, I'll help you out with this kind of thing. He's like, right, I'll see you at 8. They start doing this committee, and a lot of the people want Carrie to win. Carrie gets all done up nice because the teacher even tries giving her confidence and stuff like that. She's done up all nice. He picks her up, brings her to the prom. They dance. Meanwhile, the other fuckers are planning to do things and drop a bucket on her head. So essentially, prom starts off grand. You know, everyone is there. You know, dancing. You know, she kisses her crush. He even asks her to do something afterwards. He teaches her how to dance, and it's nice. And the teachers being nice, and it's all good at first. And music is there, and everyone is there. But PJ Souls goes around giving all the fucking papers and votes for Carrie to win. She wins prom king and queen, and essentially that bitch from RoboCop ends up dropping a bucket on her head. The other girl tries to stop it. Blood goes everywhere. And then we get the most infamous fucking scene in the movie that happens in the third act. Carrie uses her psychic abilities and goes fucking apeshit. Kills every single person in there except one of the girls. And then John Travolta and the other girl escape. They go in the car, and then Carrie fucks up that car, blows it up. Goes home, washes all the blood off her. The mother tries to kill her, and then she kills the mother. The house falls down, she dies. And essentially, the girl that survived, the girl that was nice, actually ends up sleeping and ends up having nightmares about Carrie coming back to life. And that's the movie in a nutshell. It was actually pretty easy to explain the plot quickly. What do I think of this film? Yeah, by the way, in 1974, Stephen King published the first. Was this his first? I didn't know it was his first novel. Holy shit. So what do I think of this film? This movie's a fucking classic. It's another fucking horror masterpiece. Like, this is an original idea as well. I like the idea. Not the psychic abilities, but I like the idea of having the main character is not the villain. She goes apeshit, kills people at the end. She's the one that causes the body count. She has powers, but she's not a killer. And I like the idea of her having psychic abilities. It was an interesting idea for a horror movie and for a book, really. But where do I begin? Sissy Spacek in this movie is brilliant. She plays the sinister really well near the end. She plays the emotional, happy really well, and the insecure person very well. Let's talk about a couple of scenes. So, there is the really sweet scene in the movie where she's kind of walking around, and the teacher's like, Carrie, what's wrong? And great cinematography outside, and she's like, nothing. It's like, what's up? And then she sits down and goes, like, what's up? It's like, oh, he asked me to the prom or whatever. Oh, that's wonderful. She laughs. She goes, that's brilliant. It's like, yeah, I was asked to the prom. Oh, that's wonderful. It's brilliant. It's like, yeah, I was asked by him. It's like, oh, that's grand. He's cute though, isn't he? And she's like, yeah, I know, but I know they're all just joking with me. They always do. And she's like, oh, Carrie, look, come on in. You gotta stop this shrugging your shoulders and being, insecure and upset. Come on, come in, I'll show you something silly. Opens the door, looks in the mirror and goes, hey, see that? That's a pretty girl. That is a pretty girl. You like that? Look at your hair. It's like, yeah, smiling. Like, yeah, there you go. You gonna go? She's like, yeah. It's like, I don't know. You should go. You should do it. And she's like, okay, I'll think about it. That's a nice scene, and I like that the teacher actually gives a shit about her. Um, she's a likable fucking character, Carrie and the teacher. I think the cinematography in that scene is great. The way you see the background shots, and Brian De Palma has such a unique style when directing horror movies. I've said it. I think I probably said it in my Scarface review. I believe is that the only Brian De Palma film I reviewed? Because I didn't do my review of Dress to Kill or The Untouchables, or Blowout, or Carlito's Way. So, yeah, he just has a great, unique style, especially when it comes to horror movies. But I like the sunny atmosphere in some of the scenes, like the summery atmosphere, like Carrie's walking home and there's a kid cycling around, and I like how the camera pans when he's cycling around or whatever. And then he goes, creepy Carrie, creepy Carrie. Carrie just looks and he goes, ugh, goes, and he falls over like, ugh. And it's like great. It's like, oh shit, she can't control these psychic abilities. And I like how she's kind of trying to figure out who she is. There's great scenes where she goes into the library. There's a couple of scenes she's walking around in the library and she's like looking at things and open books. Cuts back and there's different. It comes back to other scenes where in the library looking at books. She's looking at something and it's like psychic abilities, ability to control objects with your mind and all that. And I like the little, like, we don't know why she has these abilities. I like the way we don't find out. It leaves it up to mystery. She just fucking has them. But I like the scene. I like the library, the way it looks, the camera. And then I like the scene where he asks Carrie out. I thought it was a sweet scene. At first he's only doing it to be nice, but like he actually does grow to like her, which I really enjoy. But he comes in, hi Carrie. She's like, hi. She does that kind of, because she has a crush and plays it well. She's like, what are you doing? It's like, reading. And she's like, oh, cool. So listen, there's this prom coming up. You know about the prom? Like, I was asking if you want to go. And she's like, and she just runs off and the girl's looking. And he's just like, Carrie, wait. And all that. And you're like, oh, fuck. But like, she's a relatable character. People have been bullied. People have been insecure. The opening scene alone is just, it shows you how tragic her life is. They're playing football. They're passing the ball like, oh yeah, come on, let's go, yeah, let's go, come on, pass it to Carrie. It's like, oh Carrie, god damn it, you suck. You failed us again, Carrie. Thank you, and all that. Walks off and then ruins it, and then you get this amazing opening scene where you see tits and vaginas, and you're like, holy fuck, I'm in heaven here. No, I'm joking. But like, in all seriousness, you do get this shot of like all the naked women and they're just kind of fucking around and laughing, and the way that the camera moves in the shower room and the steam was really interesting and all, and they're all kind of moving around and you just see Sissy Spacek showering. And jokes aside, this scene is actually quite horrible, but it's well done, but it's disturbing and it's shocking, and it is hard to watch. Like, I've seen this movie 3 times now and it is cringe. It does make me cringe, this scene. It does actually make me go, ugh. Because you do feel bad for her. She's just showering, she's going in her body. And like, to be fair, De Palma he does actually get quite explicit when it comes to stuff like that. Because even in Dress to Kill, you see a woman full on washing her vagina. Like, it's like, he doesn't shy away from shit like that. So she's washing, and then it cuts down to the legs, and then cuts down more to the hand, and cuts even closer. And as it's dripping down water onto her feet, it's dripping, she starts to drip blood, and then she starts going, and she starts freaking out, like, it's like, what's happening? Oh, get off me, you freak! And it starts rubbing the period blood everywhere, and she's like, help me, oh, you want a tampon, bitch? Yeah. And they're going up close, like, yeah, stick it up, come on, plug it up, and all this. And she's like, help me. And she starts freaking out, and you're like, oh shit. You're like, I hope that this girl is okay. And you feel for her character. You're like, fuck, these fucking bitches. And you're like, you know, you want her to be okay. And then the principal hears it, or the teacher hears it, goes like, what are you doing out there? Opens it up, goes out, great shot at the door, comes in, like, Carrie, come on. Carrie, get a hold of yourself. Oh, what's happening? What's happening? Why are you laughing? Oh, she had her period. It's like, come on. Wait, come on. What's happening? Carrie, come on, snap out of it. Come on, it's Carrie, I'm sorry. And they go out, like, go. You're all in big trouble. Look what he's doing, standing there, walks off, and she's just there kind of like, Carrie, I'm sorry. And then literally just before that, the light kind of starts shaking and goes, oh my God, did you see that? Did you see that? Like, it's that kind of like, oh, fuck. So, like, the way that the light smashes, I thought was brilliantly fucking done. It was creepy as shit. It's like, you okay? It's like, come on, we'll go get you fixed up. And you get great shots of high school and kids coming down like, oh yeah, it's great, yeah, and just all of that kind of thing. And I love the whole aspect of her, like, it's like, oh, that's just not right, you know, oh, it's horrible, you know, it's like, but like, how has she not had her period yet? It's like, it's not normal for like her, for a girl her age to not, you know, have it. And she's like, well, it's probably because of her mother. Now we don't judge people because of their beliefs. Like, oh yeah, I mean, she had her period, and there's little stuff I didn't notice. Like, there's a shot, you kind of see the back of the shorts, and there's blood on them. And he's like, oh, yeah, call her in there. So she's outside waiting, stare like all upset and stuff like that. And she kind of walks in, and they've done a good job at making her look like a girl that gets picked on. Like, you can understand why she gets picked on, you know? She looks introverted, and I'm not saying anything against Sissy Spacek or anything, but you can see why her as a character gets picked on. You know, like, she stands out, not meaning that it's okay. Bullying fucking sucks. I'll be making a video on that. But, you know, she kind of just, you know, you can understand. So she goes like, come on in, Carrie, come on. It's like, come on in, Cassie. It's like, Cassie White, come on in. You know, it's like, her name's Carrie White. And then I love this scene because I find it just fucking hilarious how this fucking dumbass of a teacher, principal, forgets the fucking name like 50 times. You know, essentially, I find that like, the fuck. And he's like, come on in, Cassie, it's Carrie. And she's like, okay, so Cassie, so sorry this happened to you, like, it's a normal thing, like, yeah, you'll be okay. And then, while it's happening, the tension's building up, she's just looking down at a cigarette ashtray, and looking down, and brilliant cinematography, and the way the music builds up, you're like, oh fuck, some shit's about to go down. And just kind of like that, it's like, yeah, Carrie, are you okay, Cassie? It's okay, it's Carrie. Is you okay, Cassie? And she goes, it's Carrie! And then, it just goes like that, it's like, okay. She walks out, you're like, oh fuck. But you're like, yeah, we have to sort that out. But I do like other scenes. Like, the movie doesn't shy away from having humor here and there. Like, there is a great scene later on when they're ready to go to prom. Like, yo, do you got the suit? Yeah, it's fine. Is it fine on me? Yeah, I'm looking good. It's going to impress girls. It looks good on me. It looks great on me. And then it starts going. It's like, it's grand. It's fine. Let's go. You know, it's like speeding up the audio, which I found funny. But I find a lot of the things in this movie, like, you feel so bad for Carrie, because she has to put up with all this shit at school and then go home to a fucking cunt of a mother. To me, the bullies and the mother are the main villains of the movie. They do get what they deserve. They are not just bullies, they're full on evil. They are dicks. You know, this other girl from RoboCop does a great job in this film, has it out for Carrie for absolutely no fucking reason. While they're driving, you know, like, oh, come on, speak up. It's like, oh god, yeah, shitheads, like, come on, babe, I don't like to be called that, come on, oh my god, you know, and there's people driving like, hey, you going out? And he's like, yeah, sure, nice, and he's drinking, he's like, yeah, that's great, yeah, and then the cops comes like, yeah, oh, shit, throws it away, he's like, oh, you fucking shithead. It's like, you got it all over me. It's like, sorry, babe, I don't like to be called that. Come on, oh my god. It's like, shithead. It's like, come on, don't call me that. Shithead, and he smacks her. Don't call me that. It's like, oh, okay. You know, and I like that kind of like greaser attitude, and he's driving kind of like how it reminded me of Grease. It reminded me of even when he went on to be in Pulp Fiction later. He's like driving And he's like, oh no, come on, you know, you know, he doesn't say that, but it's just the way he talks. Like, yeah, sort of like, yeah, come on, you know. It's like, stop it, you shithead. It's like, babe, I told you not to call me that. It's like, come on. So then they're like, okay, let's do this, you know. They're dancing around like, hey man, how are you? It's like, oh yeah, great. And John Travolta done a great job in this movie. Like, he was young. This is one of his earlier roles. You know, and it's this weird trend that, like, as I said, I think I might have said this back in early on in the year, that um horror movie actors tend to like fart a lot. No, but seriously, they tend to no move famous movie actors. A lot of them do tend to start with horror. So yeah, but anyway, they're there like that, and you know they're making out or whatever. It's like, come on, you want to do it? It's like, stop it. No, stop it. It's like, no, stop it. What's going into you? It's like, stop it, you fucking shithead. And he's like, I told you, don't call me that, and all that kind of shit. It's like, what's your fucking problem and all that? He's like, oh, I'm sorry. And they start making out. It's like, I'll make it up to you. And then he starts like going down on her. It's like, oh God, I hate Carrie White. It's like, who? And you get great shots of like the neighborhood and the cars and stuff. And that kind of stuff, like, that's grand. But like, even like the scene later on where John Travolta goes in with the guys like, oh, are you ready to do it? It's like, come on, let's do it. It's like, yeah, come on. You know, I'll do it. We'll go in here, and there's all these pigs, and you kind of get these shots of painted pigs. Like, yeah, come on, look at these painted pigs. Come on, squeal. Come on, it's great. You know, and they go in. It's like, are you gonna do it? It's like, oh, I don't want to do it. It's like, come on, I knew this was gonna fucking happen, man. Come on, little piggies, come on. And then he just gets the sledgehammer and just starts going, ja, ja, and she's like, yeah, do it. And it just goes, do it, and there's blood going everywhere. Do it, yeah. You know, and it's like, oh shit. And they use corn syrup for that. Same thing they use for pig's blood and Carrie. Sorry, had to do that. But I like that. I like those scenes a lot. I think the way the bullies act, like, you want to see them get their comeuppance. Like, a lot of them, like, oh, Carrie White's a bitch and all this kind of shit. And like, PJ Souls is pretty hot in the movie though. And oh my god, Soldier Woman from RoboCop, she's so fucking hot. I like the scene in the gym with the girls laughing. it's like, come on, let's move it. Come on, girls, move it. Come on. And it's like, now that was a really shitty thing you done yesterday, a shitty thing, and all that. It's like, so, you know, have any of you ever thought that Carrie White has feelings? Have you? No, I bet you didn't think of that, and they're all getting looked up or whatever. And it's like, you don't do any of that kind of shit and stuff like that. And it's basically saying, like, she's a human being and you've done that and all that. And she's like, well, because of this, you're all going to lose your tickets to prom. And she's like, oh man, but the principal said that it can be forgotten about and all that. And you're kind of like, are you fucking serious? But anyway, you know, that kind of shit. And she's like, so what I'm going to do instead is a couple of days detention, whatever. And she's like, and every day after school workout starting today. And she's like, I'm not going. Anyone who doesn't go to detention will be refused a prom ticket. So then I'm like, oh shit. And I like the little music outside when they're working out, and there's consistent scenes and them working out, like, come on girls, come on, yeah, come on, do push-ups, and all the cheesy kind of music playing, like, yeah, come on. Oh, she can't make us do this forever. It's like, come on. It's like, just shut up. It's like, God, why is she doing this and all that? It's like, just let it go already. Just shut up, you know, that kind of thing. Like the girl that's actually one of the nicer ones. But you know, they're working out or whatever, and it's like, come on, and the way they do it and they run around, it's great. And it's a nice setting. I like the high school setting, the sun, and Carrie's walking around and stuff. I like that. It's great atmosphere, great location, great for the movie, you know. And essentially, they're just running around or whatever. And it's like, oh, I'm going to do it. You know, this is not fair. It's like, oh, really? It's going to happen. It's like, yeah, well, you can't make us do this anymore. It's like, get back there. It's like, you just 10 minutes left. I don't care. I'm not fucking doing it, you bitch. And then smacks her. Oh, fuck you, man. And she's like, just let it go. Shut up. It's like, okay, your prom ticket's gone. Goes off, gets what she deserves. Like, come on, back at it. And I love that. It's like, yeah, fucking tell that bitch, you know. But she does a great job, though. at playing a really sinister character, like a bitch, you know. But let's talk about the mother. Oh my god, the mother is a fucking cunt. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to use the C word that much, but she's a cunt. And the actress does a fucking great job at playing her. Um, you know, the moment we meet her, you know, the girls in her house like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" It's like, "Oh, I'm going out," you know, to her, "Mom, okay, I'm going out." And there's this fucking tiny ass TV, by the way. It's like, "Yeah, I'm watching this. Okay, let's go." Going out. And by the way, lovely fucking house. Lovely locations. Like, even later on, it's like, "Oh, yeah. Oh, God, thank God. Oh, I thought it was another reporter to get a shot of the house." Like, yeah, yeah. She'll be grand, but she'll be fine, but she needs to rest. She needs to forget about the whole thing, and I like that kind of stuff. But she comes in like, "Oh, hello, thanks for inviting me in." It's like, "Come on in." It's like, "Oh yes, let me read a passage." It's like, "No," it's like, "No, it's fine." It's like, "No, but all of our kids are sinners and all that stuff." It's like, "My daughter's not a sinner." It's like, "Okay, fine." It's like, "Carrie's fine." It's like, "Yeah." Oh, she won't be going to the prom, and just being really religious, like Jesus said on this day, blah 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 blah, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And you get that kind of religious imagery. Like, the house is odd looking. It's fucking odd. It's an odd looking house. It's fucking awesome. You go in, there's always candles lighting, there's statues of Jesus, like, Mama, it's fine, Mama. It's like, "Come on, Carrie." And she's upstairs looking, and she's like, "Come on downstairs, Carrie. I'll hear you listening." Like, "It's fine, Mommy. What were you doing? You got blood everywhere." It's like, "No, you will read from your sins." Like, "No, Mama, no. It happens. Why didn't you tell me?" It's like, "I wouldn't." Smacks her with the fucking Bible. It's like, "Do it. You will read your sins. You will do it." She's like, "No, Mama." It's like, "I will read it. He was weak." "No, Mama, no. He was weak. He was weak." "Say it, woman. Say it." "No, he was weak." "Go up and into your closet for your sins." Goes in, and all that stuff comes out, and she goes back and is like, "Thank you for that, Mama," and all that. And it's just like, oh my god, you feel sorry for this woman, you know. She goes into her bedroom, is praying, sees the Jesus thing, and, you know, there's also another scene later on where she's kind of looking in the mirror, and then you know, it just goes smashes and stuff. And like, even the way the music goes bling whenever she makes like a fucking sound is great, and the way they have shots of her face in the background and everything else, and even the way like they have shots of the shower and the girl, and then shots of her talking, and Carrie's in the background, like the shots when they're in the fucking the like when Carrie's waiting, and then the teacher's in her background, just brilliantly shot scenes that are so Brian De Palma. You know, he has this great unique style of directing and creating shots and all that. And I love that. I love that about the movie. But I like that whole aspect as well, and the shots of them, like the blonde guy driving, like, "Hey, what's up, man?" You know, all that kind of shit. But yeah, like, I like that, and then comes in, "Thank you for that, Mom." It's like, "Yeah, okay." And then she's like, Carrie, what was that?" Comes upstairs, it's like, "What's up?" And then sits her down, and she's like, "What was that noise, Carrie?" It's like, "Nothing. I was just saying my prayers. Go to sleep." It's like, "Okay, Mama." You know, and you see all these Jesus statues, and you see like the Last Supper, and there's one scene I absolutely love. The scene where Carrie tells her mother that she's going to be going to the prom. I just think it's like fucking unbelievable. The way that it's shot, it's like, Mother is like, "Yes, Carrie," and they have the candles lighting. "I'm going to be going to the prom." It's like, "No, you're not. No, you are not the prom. No, with a boy. No!" And then just picks up the thing, throws the water, like, and then candles just go out instantly. And I love that. It's like, oh. And she's like, "You're not going to be going." He's like, "He's a nice boy, Mama. Not all of them are bad. Not all of us are sinners." "No." And goes upstairs. "You're not going to go." "I'm going." "No, you're not." I'm going. I'm going, "Okay, well, whatever. You're going to be doing it for your sins, and you're going to be punished for your sins," and all this stuff. And just overly religious, overly protective, and the way it's shot, the location of the room, and the way it's shot, and as I said, there's scenes of her close up, there's scenes where people are in the background, and it's just fucking love it. The creativeness of the director, the direction and stuff, and the car, and like even the scene. I like the scenes like, "Hey, I'm part of the school. Wait, you're part of this committee?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm part of it," and he's like, are you sure about that? I was like, yeah, can you sign me up? I was like, well, it was a while ago. I was like, well, I'll be here for 6 o'clock. No, how about 8? He's like, yeah, that works. So I like that. Um, and the foreshadowing of, oh, I know what we're gonna do when they're setting up the proms. Like, I know what we're gonna do, and then PJ Styles looking up like, what are we gonna do? It's like, can we expose Carrie White? What are we gonna do? Am I in on it? Am I in it? It's like, yeah, I'll be in it. Just shut up. It's like, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. And there's a great shot of them putting the thing up. It's like, so they're whispering, and you're like, oh fuck. So I really like that. I like how villainous they are throughout the film. Um, love the opening credits, the music, the way it pops up, Carrie, the titles. Very Stephen King vibe, obviously, because it's Stephen King. But I like that. I like this Jesus statue that he keeps cutting to, and it cuts near the end as well. What else? What else? What else I want to talk about? My camera's going to cut off in a second anyway because it says 33, so I'm like, what else do I want to talk about? Saying my prayers. Excuse me. I like the scene where it's like, hey, I need you to ask you for favors. Like, yeah, sure. What is it? It's like, I need you to ask out Carrie White for me. He's like, why? It's the problem. It's like, why do I have to? It's like, just I want you to do it. And he doesn't agree. Then they're doing homework, watching TV, and he's like, okay, I'll do it. He's like, great, you know. And I like that he actually does go through with it. I love the scene when he knocks the door like, Carrie. He's like, so this is where you live. What are you doing here? It's like, oh, you're that stubborn. You're that blonde. He's like, yeah. Mother's sleeping. It's like, I was wondering if you want to go to prom. No, I can't. Please, Carrie, come on. I want you to go. It's like, no, you make fun of me. No, I actually like you. He's like, come on. And he's like, okay, I'll go. And I like that. I like that little scene. It was nice. They have great chemistry. Throughout the film and stuff. Let's see now. What else I want to talk about? I like the classroom scene a lot. When you got the guy that that I don't know what the actor's name is, but he's the I want my cigarettes guy from One Floor for Cuckoo's Nest. He's like, so he said on this passage and this day and doing this, and it's like, well, I gotta say, this is brilliant. This is brilliant reading. I think you've done a great job. It's like, thank you. It's like, but any criticisms? And then there's a shot that's brilliant of Carrie Wright in the background and of the guy, and she's like, it's beautiful. Carrie Wright, oh, it's beautiful. Well, that's not a criticism, and they're all laughing at her and they're walking down things. And I like how he's like, why do you want to ask me? Why me? And he's like, because you like my poem. And he says later on, why is it at the prom? He's like, because you like my poem, even though I didn't write it while they're driving. It's like, because you like my poem, even though you didn't write it. It's like, I'll bring you home at 10. And while they're driving, it's like, oh, that's great. It's like, come on, we'll go in. He's like, no, come on, Carrie, we'll go in. He's like,